strike me down, I'll hold my ground. If you strike me down, I'll hold my ground. If you strike me down, white walls that never talk. I break down, they can only watch. Hide out like I'm safe and sound. I lie, say I'm better off now. Start the fire in the driveway, they just see it coming round. Felt the danger in my eyes when rain started falling down. If you strike me down,
What is going on, chat? Ooh, music is still going. How are we all doing tonight? Thank you for popping in. Welcome to another episode of Play with MJ. Tonight, we are going to be talking about a bunch of different games, talking about play-to-earn economies and communities. Why are we going to talk about this? Well, we're going to talk about this because the Zed Run token dropped today. Very big, very exciting news. Shout out to chat. I see we've got Crypto Benno, we've got Frisker Biscuit, Jord, Rorka, Anyto as well in here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Those of you that are watching on Twitter and or YouTube, thank you. Prospects in the house. Let's go. Chat hasn't refreshed yet. The legend Prospect is here. So happy to have you here. Let's get started. Let's dive in. A lot to talk about tonight. Can't do stuff on Twitter while watching the Twitter stream. Had to jump over to Twitch. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's really, I like Twitter because it's great for just viewership and accessibility. But yeah, the interactivity just isn't there with Twitter. But thank you for popping in, Darkside. I really appreciate it. So let's dive in. Let's start with our first topic of the night, the Zed Run token. Before we do that, though, a quick little disclaimer on the evening. I will be talking about a bunch of different projects tonight. These are all projects that I am freely talking about. I have not been asked to talk about them. For one project that I will disclose when that time comes, I had certain assets that were made for me. I did not request assets. I was just presented with these and said, hey, these are for your stream. Go ahead and use them. I let the game know what I was going to be talking about. And they also had a caveat of saying, hey, make sure when you talk about our game, say play and earn instead of play to earn. But outside of that, all opinions are my own. And I've received no compensation for tonight's stream. Dark side, dark side, dark side. Hello, hello. I love the hello from the dark side. Gets me every time. All right, so we're diving in right now. Let's go to the big screen. All right, so Zed token dropped today. Huge, huge, huge news. We've been waiting for this for a long time. It came. It's finally here. I was just in the thank you to the big screen. I was just in a great Twitch stream for Crypto Sonar. I'm going to go ahead and link him. Drop him a follow. He does really nice crypto analysis. I really liked what the things he had to say about the token. So give him a follow, say hi, pop in. I think he did a really good technical analysis for the little bit that I was able to watch. I'm not going to do that here. I'm just going to give kind of an overview, some things that are in talking about the token that I liked, that I didn't like, and just kind of give my own 2 cents on it. I'm not a crypto expert. Nothing I say here is financial advice, but I have some thoughts that I want to share. So let's check out the white paper. So in the white paper, in kind of the general section, we'll zoom this in so we can read this a little bit better, chat. It just kind of gives an overview of Zed, talks about NFTs, virtual currencies, introducing the Zed token, and let's see what their role is, their commitment. Okay, here we go. So a few things here. Will over time, looking for a very specific statement here. Talking about a bunch of smart contracts. They want to implement the Zed token to new protocols. They serve as the base layer. They are not the governing body. That's Future Labs, the team that's helping out with this token drop. Where was that piece? It's escaping me right now. Current focus is to maximize token distribution across many members to the community, introduce more community-created functionality. So that's one of the things that really stood out to me is community-created functionality. We're going to go a little deeper into that, but that seems to be a recurring theme throughout this white paper. So talking about governance. And one thing that really stood out to me here was we intend to usher in the next phase of community-led growth for the Zed token by building a scalable entertainment protocol that delivers influence to gamers, creators, and fans. So again, I'm seeing now with a 0.002 margin, I'd say US dollars. Interesting. What's up, Mango? Thanks for popping in. So I see a broad scale when we talk about like games and utilities. I see, a lot of games are focused on just actual gameplay and token for gameplay. This seems to imply that this is going to extend outside of traditional gameplay for this token, in my mind. This is my interpretation. I don't know if this is fact or not. That's just my take on it. Then the proposal process, which I think is pretty interesting. Ecosystem fund designed to reward the efforts of Zed Run's community members. Again, that theme is coming back, who are contributing to building sustainable value. The ecosystem fund will initially be accessible to Zed Run and Zed Run token supporters, which can include participants, content creators, and entrepreneurial developers. That's a pretty broad statement. I wonder what that would look like or like how those incentives would be in place. These groups can propose new projects and ideas that focus on the sustained growth of the Zed Run and Zed token ecosystems. So it's not governance, but it kind of sounds like it. Future Labs intends to build the governance and voting framework around successful and unsuccessful project proposals in tandem with the community. So that's something that I don't see talked about a lot when people are talking about the token. It's something that I think is kind of cool in the way that they are going above and beyond, stepping outside of, again, the traditional box of tokens just tied to a game. Then we're talking about the token supply, and, only 7% is going to existing users right here. Not the end of the world. Like, a lot of it is going to be locked up over time. Release schedule. up to 48 months. I like this distribution breakdown a lot. I think it's kind of fun, and it really kind of lays things out pretty clearly in terms of like what's going to happen over the next 48 months with this token. So we've got the Z token liquidity in the green. We've got the Z run existing users, the ecosystem fund, existing users, and then we're going to start to get play and earn rewards treasury, and then the Z token treasury. You can see these things start to scale over time. This really makes sense of all of this up here. So if this is confusing to you, I would start here, look at this. Then breakdowns year over year. And they go into just kind of liquidity, team, backers, eligibility, all those breakdowns. I think it's pretty transparent, pretty clear. I think they did a pretty nice job of it. Chat, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Switching over to the actual price. So right now, right here for WETH, I've got it at like 0.056 cents. And you can see a big drop off. That's to be expected. And from the initial 20-cent start. Why is that going to be expected? Well, there's no use for the token right now outside of just taking it out of the ecosystem. Now, there may be people that are very bullish on Zed long term that want to hold it up, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You see a lot of people pulling out because there's no point in holding it right now. There's no immediate use case. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with, taking that money out. There's nothing wrong with holding on to it. And there's nothing wrong, frankly, in my opinion, with the token price dropping because, again, it's to be expected. Will it go down more? I don't know. I'm not super strong in this field, this area. But until they start incorporating things like, governance for ideas, which is very interesting because it's governance, but it's not governance. And then you start talking about things like, maybe it could be breeding, racing. I don't think some sort of wagering. That seems like it would be tough to implement, but you never know. There are a lot of different use cases. They could gamify certain actions. We've seen screenshots of that when they first announced the token of, hey, did you hit your breed this month? You get this many tokens. So there are a lot of different ways that they can go about implementing this, but in this short term, I don't see this really doing too much. Let's see. Interesting. I had Huboy Global Chart. I like the value you've got up way better, and nothing backing it either. Correct. Exactly. I wish the white paper listed out potential planned future uses for in-game syncs. I agree. I think that's something they could have done a little better of just being a little more upfront. Not that I don't want to hold them to being super specific here, but just by saying, hey, these are the ideas, these are the concepts we have in place. There's going to be some community involvement. We're going to run some tests on it, but these are the kinds of things we want to do with this token. It might alleviate some of the drop a little bit. We'll see. It's just going to be time. Time will tell. Cross-application usages with VHS projects. Yeah, so that was in the top, and I think I just missed that. But they talk about like a Z or like a broader ecosystem in which this could be used. How could they not expect every single person just to switch ETH almost instantly? Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. So, that kind of the topic of syncs, the topic of the price going down, again, not a bad thing, kind of to be expected. It doesn't mean the game is ruined or anything like that, but now I want to kind of shift gears or transition into the concept of game economies and communities, because I think those two things go hand in hand very tightly. And just kind of want to share some thoughts with you when you're looking at a community to get into, a project to get into, a game to get into, maybe some things for you to evaluate. And I'm going to do that through the lens of some games that I'm familiar with. So you may be indifferent about the game, you may like the game, but what I really want to kind of share with all of you is the concept behind it and what I think you should be looking at from my own personal experiences within games. Again, none of this is financial advice. I'm not qualified to make that. I'm just speaking from my own personal experiences. So within a project or within a game, I talked about community and token slash utility. So I think both of those things are really backed, and they're the strongest when there's motivation behind them. I've defined utility as motivation for movement. And so motivation for movement is, what is my incentive to buy an NFT, to sell an NFT, to use a token? What is my drive for that? And so that goes hand in hand with community, because you need to have long-term success, in my opinion. And I've talked about this before from a Twitter thread that was not my own, but you need to appeal to multiple different types of gamers and community members in order to create a long-term thriving ecosystem. So I've kind of broken down communities and projects into 4 main groups. The first one being token-based economies. And so for that, looking at Riot Racers right here. So in a token-based economy, the most important thing is timing. So, Prospect mentioned syncs earlier, and timing of those syncs to the release of the token. If you have a huge player base and a token release, but no usage outside of pulling it out, it is just going to come out. So, and why is this important? Well, if you do things like car upgrades, mechanic shops, those provide, especially when, again, your motivation for movement, your motivation to spend tokens to upgrade your car, is that car performance accounts for over 20% of a race outcome. So that in a way is a motivation for movement. That is a utility. Is it a strong one? Time will tell. But that is a great example of a utility. The timing of it was a little off, and as a result, we saw the token price really come down. That being said, it's pretty flat. The game is not dead by any means. It's still active. I still have people racing. I have basically a jockey program going right now, or a driver program, and I'm pretty happy with it. Now, what happens when you in Riot Racers has a great community, at least I think so. They have a bunch of different subsets that have different goals. Some are more data driven, some are more community driven, some are performance driven, which is fantastic. They have contests for car colors, which appeals to more creative types. I think that's really smart of them to really foster those communities. One thing I will say, though, is that when you look at token-based economies and token-based games, that tokens, especially if they fall, are usually indicator of driving asset price. In this case, driving asset price down. There's usually a delay on this, but that's oftentimes, in my experience, to be expected. So this is an example of, again, what I would call a token-based economy. You go in, you play a game, you enter a race, you get an outcome, you have your token. Now, that's going to evolve a little bit as these things come into place, but right now it is purely a token-based economy. Moving on to the second type, next game I'm talking about is a community-based economy. And usually, in my experience, from my own personal, times with these games, is that these are a little more stable. So what do I mean by community-based economy? Well, there's no token. It's based off of events. Again, events within the community. And so the example that I have for this is Futera United. I've talked about them. I've streamed them. I love this project. I love this project because I think they are a strong community-based project. So this appeals to multiple types of people. Myself as a streamer, you've got my co-host on stream, Blue, who's, all about the player performance, knowing the team, knowing the roster, knowing how well they're doing, kind of that data, and those data fans. And then soccer fans in general, their slogan that they love to say is have your say in the way we play. So as an NFT owner, you can have kind of that experience of helping to manage the club by making decisions. Who starts? What color are our jerseys? Formation. You can have conversations during game about player performance and possibly make adjustments there. And they pitch themselves, as you can see right here in this corner, as play and earn. Well, how does that work if you buy an NFT that helps you make decisions about a soccer team? Well, they've created some really, really unique and interesting components to this. So they have all of these different votes: goal of the month, predict the score. You can see prize draws for voting. So they've given away things like jerseys, merch, NFTs, cards. And it's a super interesting mechanic because, again, it bridges digital with physical. You're voting to win these things, and that, for this community, for a sports community, is that motivation. So on top of that, they have different types of content. And if you don't want to, and then yeah, you can also get your NFT as an actual physical card. If you don't want to make those voting decisions, you can still be a part of the community. You can be in general chat. You can watch the games. You can cheer them on. You just can't be as involved with those decisions in the have your say in the way we play mechanic of it all. So again, and having that access for someone to not be able to purchase is a really cool driver for community engagement. They're also going to be doing some metaverse things in the future. So they're constantly providing value, doing it in a unique way. They're bridging digital and physical. And I think it's just a great example of community. Up the Futera. Absolutely, Rorka. Absolutely. Absolutely love that project so much. So then the next example that I want to talk about is, sorry chat, my phone is blowing up right now, is what I call a meta economy. I guess there are technically 5 I'm going to be covering, not 4. I might have said 4 earlier. So a meta economy. So we're kind of like scaling up in terms of scope of these projects. So a meta economy. Oh, and sorry, the other thing about Futera, I spoke about stability. The price was down a lot lower. The mint price, I believe, is 0.07. The floor right now is 0.0489. Again, they, over time, I feel, in my opinion, they've built a very strong community. And there really aren't many for sale. There are 7 for sale right now. And 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 7 are above mint price. I think that's pretty cool. So they've really done a lot to really grow the community and strengthen it. And you definitely feel it. So the next one is the meta economy that I want to talk about. So in meta economies, in my mind, in theory, and from my experience, these are the most stable. I'm going to talk about a project that I'm kind of, I'll say, half in. I'm working on getting the other half right now. And that is Knights of Degen. Zook has streamed for them. I was on one of their streams for Fan Controlled Football. I'm just absolutely fascinated by this project and the things that they're doing. So what is a meta economy? This is a project that has almost like subsets of communities around real life sports and play to earn sports games. So again, it appeals to a broad community: gambling, gaming, sports, data, numbers, stats. And I'm just scratching the surface here. And so by having NFT ownership, you get an access pass to all of these sub communities. And so, for example, I know they have Footium, they've done Red Village, they've done Zed Run. They talk about the New York Yankees. They talk about sports. It's, if you like sports, this is a great meta economy, a great meta community to be a part of. Now, I don't know the mint price off the top of my head. I currently have a Steeds. They have Steeds and Knights. I'm looking at Knights. I'm getting there. Just got to find the right one at the right price. But their floor, and I've been tracking this for a few months now, has been pretty stable around the 0.2 to 0.3 mark. Prospects has been eyeing this project for a while, think about getting one as well. And, you know, I've popped in. Being a Steeds owner, I have access to certain channels. I'm also, like I said, involved in their fan-controlled football team. And it's you get a true sense of community. The people that are in these channels in Discord are extremely passionate about the things that they are doing. And again, from a price standpoint for this particular project, in my opinion, it has been very stable. So very cool concept of meta communities, communities around other projects, other sports, and aspects of sports, and so much more. So then the final thing that I want to talk about, the final type of economy that I see in the space, I'm calling a hybrid economy. And I have two examples for this. To me, a hybrid economy, this is what NFT and play to earn gaming is all about. This is the future. This is the dream. This is the goal. This is also the hardest thing to do well. I view, and you know what, we're going to have a third one. I don't have the content ready on hand, but Darkside, if you're still here, to me, this is your project fits in this category. Your Dragon Emperor. So the first project I want to talk about here for a meta or a hybrid economy is 2112 Run. So what exactly does a hybrid economy, a hybrid community do? Well, they have partnerships that extend past, specifically in the case of 2112 Run, they have partnerships that extend past whitelist opportunities, but also include collaborative NFTs. So there might be a 2112 Run NFT in the style of a collab partner. They may do, a normal whitelist access or like partner mint. They may incorporate elements of other projects into their own game. So we've seen Gojira in 2112 Run as some of their ice, as well as some other projects. Llamaverse was also in there. Baron, awesome, you are here. Baron Darkside's game, if I'm allowed to say this, I've streamed about it before. I won't share anything new, but Dragon Emperor, where you have these different layers of NFTs and interoperability and working together and creating a community around people who want to do different things. So you could be, landowner, you could be someone who comes in and helps cultivate that land, who helps scout. In the case of going back to 2112 Run, you have a community for grinders who just want to collect data over and over again every single day. They have leaderboards for achievement getters and achievement hunters. They have things for content creators like myself. They appeal to storytellers. They're asking for content. You can write your bio of your crypto runner. They're asking for art submissions and collaborations. So again, they're appealing to probably the most diverse group of a community and extending past their own ecosystem, their own bubble. So Dragon Emperor, I see doing that. Again, not released yet, but 2112 is doing that currently. And then the other category in here would be your metaverses. So that's Decentraland, that's Sandbox. And the other one I want to talk about right now is Ultraverse. And again, full disclosure, chat, this is the one I'd reached out to a member of the team, said, hey, I want to feature this on stream tonight. And they came back and they shared some assets. So we'll get some alpha that we're going to share here in a minute. Some never before seen video content. But what this is a play and earn metaverse where they put gamers first. And that was something that they said too. And I see that. I've seen kind of some footage of this. That's something I also believe. You can earn a token by completing actions, by playing games. They're going to have first-person shooters, socialization areas for art, music, sports, gaming. They want to provide a true, broad experience for you. And for the community, and then the utility, well, that's loosely defined by the project, but you have freedom to use it how you want as a player. So what is this actually going to look like? So for anyone interested, here's just some high-level information. Here is their URL. Again, I was not asked to share this. I am doing this on my own. Sky City, this is going to be their main city hubs. You can see different hubs. The background, you can see different shops here. Here's an art gallery. Here is someone flying in a vehicle. And so we'll get into these videos now, but these are really important because I think they really illustrate the points that I'm trying to make. So here's our first video, 12 seconds long. Let's get this full screen. So this is SkySafe. This is called the pit, this area we're looking at in the middle here. There'll be things like Demolition Derby in this middle area. There will be different games you can compete in to win tokens. It is free to play. We'll watch that again because it was quick. It is free to play. You don't have to buy anything to get in. This isn't a shill. This is just demonstrating the concept of these hybrid communities. So here's a gaming aspect, and you can see if I pause right here, you've got a mall, you've got a square, you've got outlets on the side, you've got all these different types of buildings. If we go to video 2, you're going to see some examples here of some of those stores. So again, think of this as extending out. So these could be different projects, companies, organizations who are taking their product and they're putting it into this one. Again, creating that hybrid environment. One group I want to call out right here. So Real Betis is an actual soccer team. And if we go, I'm not familiar with Bits, but at the end here, there's a shop for X Rocker, which is a real gaming, it's like gaming room, gaming chairs. It's a real company. Like you can go to the Google X Rocker right now. They're a real company. And again, they're extending out. They're creating that hybrid metaverse type experience, which I think is just very illustrative of what a hybrid economy, hybrid community really could do and should do. And then this one I think is the coolest. This is Melos Studio. So we're going to get a quick little flyby. Again, this is alpha. This hasn't been shared. I believe this is exclusive. You're seeing this here first. And we got music. So what Melos Studio is, chat, for those of you that aren't familiar, Melos Studio is a NFT-based music collaboration platform where as an artist, you can create, collab, and sell your music as NFTs. And so there's going to be a Melos Studio within Alterverse where you can interact, you can create music. I believe there's an actual studio in here. We'll watch this video. So again, what you're getting here is a hybrid experience. You are getting different projects coming in, sharing their utility, sharing their NFTs within a separate community. And I think it's incredibly illustrative of the concept of a hybrid economy. Again, appealing to the widest variety of community and the widest utility because it is very user driven. Again, 2112 run and metaverses, Alterverse, Decentraland, Sandbox, any other big type of metaverse, I think illustrates this the best. Alterverse closed alpha is coming out in a few weeks, beta, etc. to follow not too far after. They just finished being in the Binance incubation program. Very, very cool. So next kind of segment of stream, I want to go through and talk about some news from some projects that I am involved in and some pretty exciting things that have happened in the space over the past few weeks. I haven't had a chance to do a Play with MJ stream in a while, so we're going to hit that up right now. So the first game I want to talk about is, I kind of like that song, not going to lie. The first game I want to talk about is Photo Finish. So Photo Finish recently split their dev. They have a beta 1 and a beta 2. This is a horse racing game on Solana. They just had a $20,000 race. They had someone from Barstool ended up winning, came from behind. It was super exciting. Wish I had it queued up for stream. I don't right now, but that was a lot of fun to watch. So their first beta is going to continue, playable as it is with some minor tweaks. But then beta 2 will be closer to the final product. And we'll talk about some of the announcements that they just made about that. First being, they're going to have new audio. I've heard, I believe, their bugle sound. It was pretty cool. I think they put it in their Discord. But they take graphics and experience, camera angles very seriously in this project. I can only imagine the way that they're going to do audio is going to be just chef's kiss beautiful. Can't wait for that to be released. There's currently no audio. Super excited for that to come. So in this thread, we're not going to go through all of it. We're not going to read it all, but I'll kind of cover all of it. So they're talking about their in-game token, Derby. With Derby, you will be able to buy and sell it with a credit card, with USD Coin, with Solana, and PayPal. So super accessible. Buy and sell through all of those different mediums. And again, it's going to really open the game up. I know people don't like the fact that it's on Solana. This is going to, I think, make it a lot more accessible. And then on top of that, so yeah, here's the example of the cash out screen, PayPal account for confirmation, is then their crown. So crown is their governance token. You get crown by having a marvelous mare or a stylish stud. Those are their PFPs. Depending on certain traits, you earn a certain amount per month. And then basically you stake that crown into a racetrack, which is kind of outlined right here. And you then get a return of that track's proceeds at the end of the month in Derby. So it's kind of cool because they're creating, again, talking about community and economies. They're kind of incentivizing. I mean, they're literally saying, get with people, put your crown on certain tracks, and then you kind of pitch those tracks to get people to race there and to provide races that are appealing. So it's their way of doing track ownership, which I think is super cool, kind of exciting. I don't own any of the PFPs yet. I've been looking at it. I'm considering it. But I do have 2 photo finish horses. So I think that's kind of a cool concept. I think it's pretty exciting. They're talking more about crown and then just saying, hey, they've got a lot more coming. The token elements will be coming, post-release. But pretty excited the things they're working on. I love the updates that they post in Discord. I think they do a really, really nice job with all of that. The next game I want to talk about was we're going to go circle back a little bit to 2112 Run. So they're also doing, much like Photo Finish, a V1 and a V2 split as well. So with V1, they are going to have they're going to add a new narrative arc, so more content. I talked about the importance of storytelling within gaming, and they're going to add another narrative arc to this, which I think will be pretty cool. I think there's some new ice coming as well. But then version 2 is a roguelike deck building game using your crypto runners. So I currently have 4 crypto runners. But on top of all of that, they also have had a bunch of mini games and activities during this building phase, which I think is super cool. So in Discord, they released new logos for all the different factions: Makers, Stray Dog, Punk, Cypher. I'm missing one. It doesn't matter because I got Stray Dog, and those are the most important. And if you could match up the logo with the proper faction, you could win a crypto runner. And so I thought that was kind of cool. They also redid their game screen, as you can see here. So play on that. You can go to their news. So any updates you can get right from the play screen. Their marketplace is coming soon. Lore, if you want to check out, again, all of the information about all of the great storytelling that they've done, the different corporations, the different factions. And then runner profiles, which I think is really, really cool. So let's look at 2472. That's one of my crypto runners. I hit hunt. And it pulls up the picture, the notoriety, the model, all of the different kind of attributes. And then you can go to OpenSea and you can also click on runs. And you can get all of the different runs for that crypto runner and see how much notoriety did they get, how much data did they get, how long did it take, when did it start, when did it end. I think it's pretty cool. Again, they're building out different functionality. And then along with, so these little games during their dev cycle, they're keeping us updated. They updated their play page. They're working on a new narrative arc. They also are going to be releasing, with the launch of their marketplace, a physical trading card. As you can see here, and I'm going to butcher this name horribly, Figitalius. I'm sorry. Please correct me. But basically, this company makes trading cards of your NFTs. And so they're going to have foil trading cards of your crypto runner, which I think is just sick. We'll big screen this. This I just think looks absolutely beautiful. Pretty cool. And so you do your runs, you get data, and then in order to, if you wanted to buy one of these for your crypto or of your crypto runner, you would use your data, the in-game currency, to use it. So you can't extract the data, to my knowledge, for ETH right now, but they're working on getting syncs in place before you can swap it out. In theory, that would create a more sustainable and longer term token value in community. So I think that's pretty cool, pretty exciting, and I think it's a great implementation. Again, great hybrid. Your physical, your digital, your different types of communities, content creators, artists, storytellers, grinders. I think it's just really cool. So then next thing I want to talk about is Crypto Raiders, and then we'll go into Footium. So Crypto Raiders has had a ton of updates over the past few weeks. Here's kind of a newsletter from the 18th. I just want to quickly go over. They released, it says it's final testing. They've released their Mac client. They're working on APKs for mobile, which is just the package of a mobile game. Working on some quality of life updates. So there's an endless dungeon bug that they fixed. They improved combat UI visuals. They have community game nights that are going right now. And then they also include, I think these are really cool because there's an element of transparency to this. So Twitter followers and Discord members. Okay, did it go up? Did it go down? And that's something that's important. Hey, Avon, how you doing? Thank you for popping in. When looking at, and evaluating a project, I wish more projects were more open about this. Hey, okay, 1% decrease, 1% decrease. Economic news. Look at this. So we have unique holders of Raiders, unique holders of mobs, and have they gone up or down? Unique holders of mounts. Aurum. You can see it's some decreases, some increases. Floor price has gone down 22%. Gen 1 has gone down 17%. Mobs have stayed the same. Mounts have gone down tremendously. Current Aurum price went up 23%. Current Raider price, 35% increase. So pretty cool, pretty exciting stuff. 7-day Raider volume, 46% increase. 7-day volume of Mob, 67% increase. But not a lot, 0.15 ETH. And then 7-day volume of Mounts, 32% increase. Again, not a lot still, but I love the transparency. I love the communication here. I think it's very cool. The other thing that they have right here is you can look up Crypto Raiders performance from recent matches. So those of you that are in the community, I'll drop that link in chat right there. And you can go ahead and let's see if we can click 13450. Let's type that in 13450. Find recent matches. Excuse me. So Finn fought John and won. And I think if you click this, it'll go to, it goes to Polygon. Interesting. But yeah, it's kind of cool. You just see the outcome. So, and also the time here. It's a little hard to see on stream, but that was 4 hours ago. We'll zoom in so you can see it better. But again, want to look up by specific token ID. Here's Chalupa 32585. Let's see what Chalupa's doing. And find recent matches. Maybe I'd hit the button. Here we go. So beat Tamiwawa, lost to Brumadim. I'm going to butcher these names. Lost to Senukin. So it's pretty cool. You get to see all of their battle history. I like that they showed the little animated character. I think it's pretty fun. Cool little tool from Crypto Raiders. And then on top of that, they've also released factions. Classes and subclasses. So we're not going to watch this whole video, but just want to talk about and just briefly show kind of the implementation of what this looks like from a gameplay and mechanics standpoint.
Yeah, super
So you can see they've got Druid, Wizard, Barbarian, Rogue, Paladin, and Knight, I believe, are the 6. Looks like only 4 are available. You have to be level 10 before you get into it.
excited to see all these classes go out, get these into the hands of the players. Really excited to see like the different kinds of builds and synergies people come up with, especially as these classes become more further developed as well.
Me too. So we'll dive right in. We have Druids, Wizards, Barbarians, and Rogues.
Natures have the
So
primary
go ahead.
ability.
So here you can see we're in Druid now, and then you see subclasses. So Nature, Beastmaster, Aurora, and basic abilities. And then you can see the ability tree here, which is pretty cool.
Rogues are gonna- that's
Select
pretty gonna check
one, unlock it, and move forward. So Nature Salve. Apply a salve that heals 50% of max HP over 3 turns. Target self or ally. Love that. Love where that's going. Cost of Spirit, cooldown 5 turns. I think this is pretty sweet. I'm super excited for this. I'm going to share the link for the full video. It's a half-hour long. They go through each one. I think it's very well done. Chad, highly recommend you check that out when you have a chance. And then finally, desktop clients. Here's the link for that. Windows, Mac, and then Linux. I'm not sure if it's blocked out because it's not out yet, or I'm on Windows. But definitely worth checking out. Oh, excuse me. And then finally tonight, want to talk about Footium. And so in Footium, some exciting updates as well. They are Leyton Orient's official back of shorts sponsor on all of their kits for the 2022-2023 season. How cool is that? Let's see if we can see the actual picture of it. Leyton Orient, I believe, is in the EFL. I don't think. Oh, yeah, here's Leyton Orient. They don't have a picture. There's a picture of it in Discord, which looks pretty cool. Oh, yeah, here we go. Watch this. So pretty cool to see again a Web3 gaming project going physical with an actual soccer team. I just think that is awesome. Very, very, very cool. In addition to that, they have released a feature roadmap, which I'm going to share in chat right here. And so in this feature roadmap, there's 17 items. They're not going to be completed in order necessarily, but these are the 17 items that they need to have done, they want to have done before release. So again, the numbers for each feature are not indicators of the order in which they will be added. So implementing new game UI, and again, they're showing a picture here. Pretty clean, pretty slick, pretty cool. More involved match simulation, extra time and penalties, update the match schedule, cup competitions. I love this. Champions Cup, FFA Cup, Elite Cup, FFA Trophy, playoffs, relegation, special relegation type where you can specify multiple competitors to relegate to. It'll also be based on which division below gets that third and final promotion spot, as a team will need to be allocated to that division to balance the leagues. Complete in-game tactical changes, which will be huge. Prize money distribution, multiple player types, bronze, silver, gold, rare, and legendary, training sessions, stadium upgrades. Looks pretty good. And new player designs, coaches, legendary player distribution. Layer 2, Footium is on, mainnet, need to migrate to Layer 2, as well as bridge the clubs. Assistant manager, again, if you have someone that maybe doesn't have the NFT, but you want to come in and help you manage the club, I think that's a really cool feature, one that I'm super excited for. And then future features. So non-exhaustive list, they plan to add post-launch. New version of Footium on another chain. They want to do cross-chain competition. I think that's going to be so cool. Cross-chain Champions Cup, weather with in-game effects, 2D match simulation, 3D match simulation. Can't wait for that. Super excited about this project. I still own 2 clubs. And then on top of that, kind of a little fun thing, they released a sticker promotion. So they basically said, hey, get a sticker. You can get them here. And with your sticker, go ahead and slap that somewhere, and then you can tag it on Google Maps for the Footium sticker map. I think it's pretty cool. So those are all the updates I wanted to cover today, chat. We'll get off the big screen. Appreciate you all for tuning in. This has been a lot of fun. I will see you next week for another episode of Play with MJ.